is a startup working on nanotechnology-based corrosion protection solutions. I'm an engineer with Advenira, and today I'd like to talk to you about one of our products called AdvenGuard. AdvenGuard is a clear coat barrier coating that provides excellent corrosion resistance. And today I'd like to teach you how to apply AdvenGuard in an outdoor setting. Now, we have here a 12-inch by 12-inch steel test panel, and I've prepared the surface by media blasting and then by using a degreaser, followed by drying it off. It's important that there's absolutely no rust before applying AdvenGuard to the material. To apply the coating, we have a 3M PPS paint gun, but any sort of similar spray gun should work. Now, we're using a 2mm nozzle, and we've set the shaping air to about 1 turn and the flow to about 5 turns to get a good spray pattern. You'll also notice that I've got the paint cup covered in aluminum foil. Now, the reason for this is that AdvenGuard is a UV-curable coating, and so it's important to protect it from direct sunlight. Similarly, you'll notice that we're spraying in the shade, and it's important to spray AdvenGuard only in indirect sunlight. So if you're spraying in the middle of the day, you might need a canopy or something to protect the surface that you're coating. But right now, we're fine. Now, I'd like to show you how we're going to cure AdvenGuard, so if you'll come with me. What we have are 2 standard UV lamps, as you can see right here, and we've set them up this way with a little rig so that we can place the panel beneath it. Now, obviously, if you were going to coat a fixed object like a pipe or a wall, you would aim the UV lamp directly at that object. And here we have a UV protective curtain, and similarly you probably want to protect yourself from line of sight of the UV with some sort of protective curtain. But here, it's easier and quicker for this demonstration just to move the panel beneath these UV lamps. Alright, so I've shown you our substrate, the gun, and our curing station. So now it's time to coat. I'm going to coat this in a few quick passes across the substrate. And while I do this, it's important to wear appropriate PPE. So I've got nitrile gloves, UV protective glasses, and I'm about to put on a respirator. So once I do that, you won't be able to hear me, but you can see our demonstration, and then we'll talk shortly. So, let's get started. Okay, here we go. And you can see the panel. We'll give it just a little bit of time before we cure. All right. Let's go ahead and cure this.
So now we turn on the UV Lamp on for 3 minutes. Ready, start, go. So after 3 minutes curing, we turn off the lamp.
Okay, as Ann said, we turned off the lamps. And now, you can see we have a finished panel. It's a little hot right now, but you can see that it's fully cured and hard to the touch. And this is one of the big advantages of a UV curable coating. AdvenGuard in particular acquires its corrosion protective properties very quickly after our curing process. So I'm going to just give it a little bit longer to cool off so that it's no longer hot. And then I'd like to show you how quickly we can achieve corrosion resistance. So right here, I have some sulfuric acid, and we have a bare test panel and our newly coated test panel. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to put a droplet of acid on each panel, and then we're going to wait and see what happens and how they corrode. So first we'll wait for the panel to cool down to the touch. Soon. Okay, now our panels are cool to the touch, so I'm going to apply just a little bit of acid to each one of them using a pipette. Here's our acid. Okay, so now we're going to let these droplets sit for a little while and see what happens. So already we can see some corrosion is starting to occur on the uncoated panel, while if you look at the coated panel, nothing is really happening. Okay, so it's been about half an hour, and now, as you can see, on the uncoated panel, we have decent amounts of corrosion appearing around the outside and somewhat towards the middle. Meanwhile, in our AdvenGuard coated panel, there's just a single droplet left, and let me blot that up or suck that up in a sec. You can see no damage at all to the film. I hope that this has been an informative presentation on our product, and we'll see you for our next video.